And we're going to talk to Darryl now in Dunedin just about what's going on with music venues there, which are dwindling by the sounds of things. Kia ora, Darryl. Really good of you to chat this afternoon.
Kia ora, Leanne. Nice hearing you.
Yeah,
how's
it's great.
weather in Queenstown?
Well, it's getting worse by the minute. It's look, it's grey and it's windy, and we've had a bit of sleet, but we hadn't had the snow on the ground. What about Dunedin?
No snow at sea level yet, but it's consistently soggy. That's probably the best way of putting it.
Okay. Oh, you'll probably get snow on the hills. I remember those days in Dunedin. It's been a challenging winter, but I was just saddened because I thought, as a former resident of Dunedin, I was sad to read that, there's a problem with music venues now, and now with talk of pulling down the putting up this new building in Rattray Street, that we could lose the Crown Hotel as well as a venue. I mean, how bad is it, Darryl, in Dunedin for live music?
Well, it's interesting. I've been here since '93, and the '90s were kind of a lull in some ways. In the past, say, 5 to 10 years, there's actually been a few more smaller venues grow. We lost Sammys, when the DCC bought that off the Chin family, and probably did nothing with it. They asked for a report to be written, and it was written, and then nothing was done. And there's much gnashing of teeth about that. But yeah, the Crown issue is interesting. Resource consent was granted in May for a developer to build a multi-use building there, including 2 layers of accommodation. And so there's a group called Save Dunedin Music, Save Dunedin Live Music on Facebook, who are campaigning to at least have some sort of discussion about it.
Yeah, well, it's right, and you make a good point about Sammys, which was a terrific live venue. So that's just now not in use at all. What's going to happen to it?
No idea. It's in I'd say the lap of the gods, but it's more the fate of the council.
Yeah.
They own it and they're paying. They paid about $170,000 for it, 170, and they've spent that since just on paying rates to themselves and maintenance. And changing the locks because a group of musicians and their friends broke in a couple of months ago and had a live gig in there.
Okay, that's very anarchic and very Dunedin. That's actually quite cool.
Very rock and roll. But yeah, there are a handful of venues. I could list them if you like.
Do. No, of course. Yeah.
The Inch Bar. The Inch Bar is beautiful in North East Valley. Long-standing, small. 20 people will fill the room. It's pretty nice.
I love the Inch Bar.
The good old Crown.
Yeah.
Same. Good vibe. The good old Crown, of course. Zanzibar's one of gin bars in town. Has mostly covers music, but you can, if you're canny, you can flick the odd original in there. That's the same with 12 Below in Octagon. They're kind of cool. Again, more cover space. Dog with Two Tails, of course. They got a boost from the council for soundproofing.
It's a good venue, that.
It's quite fun. I remember it was just an even smaller cafe. The new Athenaeum Theatre in the Octagon is hidden away, and if you can hire the room to have gigs. It's a very nice room, very low key. It's quite pretty. Umbrellas does dinnery type music, so you can play between 5 and 7. I think they do their sets.
But that's a restaurant, though, isn't it? Pretty
it much. It is. Yeah. The owner, whose name has just gone out of my head. Ed Lobo is quite an accomplished percussionist. He's a big fan of music.
Okay.
There's also out at Port Chalmers, there's the Galley and the Port Chalmers Town Hall for bigger things.
Okay, so it's not dreadful, but it must be. But I think. I guess those sort of bigger venues like Sammys, I mean, it's fine if you just got one or two, perhaps a duo playing in restaurants and what have you. But maybe what people are trying to get across is, okay, you have Forsyth Bar, yeah, that's all well and dandy now that we can have bigger crowds, but that's not going to happen until next year. But I suppose it's for the sort of medium-sized acts where, perhaps, where would we have been without great pubs in the old days for the start of bands like the Clean and the Bats.
Indeed. Yeah, it is the mid-size. You're right. From 200 upwards, 200 to like 1,500, I think. That's the hole that Sammy seems to have left. There's people come through. They play at the Glenroy Auditorium, and that's it's a nice enough venue, but it's definitely a seat that you wouldn't I wouldn't expect a mosh pit there, put it that way.
That's
the Port Chalmers Town Hall is lovely for a mid-sized venue. I know Nadia Reid has a bunch to do with that, but I'm not quite sure what it is in terms of hiring or the logistics.
right.
But the gentrification issue is a worry when you have property developers coming to town. If they try and skimp out on soundproofing, the tenants make noise complaints, and then it's happened historically. Dave, one of the chaps behind Save Dunedin Live Music, was campaigning in Melbourne at the same time a few years back. And he helped. The Punters Club was one of Melbourne's phenomenal venues, and it was shut down due to gentrification.
Right. That's sad, isn't it?
But this is what people are scared of happening here. If they tack a bleeding great building onto the side of the Crown, the thump will go through.
Yeah, this is the problem, isn't it? It's like, and I think the sad thing is that everyone knows and loves the fact that Dunedin is a breeding ground for new bands and for live music. And if I go there for a weekend, that's probably what I want to do. And so it's surely the council must see the urgency in protecting this slice of Dunedin life.
Yes, our own slice of heaven, if you will. In the paper today, our Grant Miller has written a story. Carmen Hurlihan's one of our city councillors, and she's, I know she's having another tilt at the council, but I'm not sure if she's got mayoral aspirations again. But she is, Grant's got a story here today saying that she'll be lobbying basically on the musicians' behalf. She says, quote, live music and live theatre does add to the livability of the city. And she's helping the group lobby for on a political level.
Yeah, and this is good. And I think it's obviously a hot issue because there have been stories about this almost every second day, but I think it's important. And it sounds like, okay, I read a story recently, well, it was actually a few months back, where the council discussed, and your mayor, Aaron Hawkins, said, hey, how about introducing a levy for touring bands, not a major one? And I think they were going to investigate, but I never heard anything more on that. Do you know where that is at, Darryl?
Yeah, that's. I had a bit of when you asked me that a while back. I had a bit of a look around. The only thing I could find was Andrew Marshall's story on February the 2nd, where Mayor Hawkins was proposing the levy, and it's as far as it's got. It's almost like at the risk of being cynical. It's almost like the council's dealings with Sammys. It's got to a certain stage and just stalled.
Yes, it would seem like it, because that's what I hear, all these ideas, and they seem to be committed to saving, the musical and the arts and cultural precinct and keeping this lively atmosphere, but then nothing, it sort of just wafts around in the air and nothing's actually done.
Yes, they have a focus group and then a reference discussion, and
a lot of meetings.
Nothing happens. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's have a meeting about that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a meeting.
Let's call it a discussion point.
That's right, and a focus group is a very good one. Very funny, Darryl. I mean, you're a broadcast journalist. I suppose you've dealt with this issue a little bit in the past, but it's unique for you because you're also a musician, which is cool. So you see it from both sides of the case. How's it impacted you, say, in getting gigs? Are you fine for gigs?
I'm not a stadium rocker by no means, or by any means for better grammar. But there's still the regulars, like every sort of fourth week at the Inch Bar, that sort of thing. And if one of your bigger shows, the Crown. A few artists in Dunedin are signed with a label called Zelle Records out of Austria. Zelle's head honcho, Arno Loeffler, is a big supporter of Dunedin music. And he's actually coming here in August. So we're throwing him a party called Zelle Fest at Port Chalmers Town Hall. That's going to be, half a dozen or more, between 6 and 10 bands, I think it is. And
I like the sound of that.
It's a lot of fun. August the 6th from vague memory. And yes, it'll be a lot of a hoot. So some folkier artists, and then some louder and more sort of indie rocky artists like Seafog, one of the more known Zelle bands, and along with Jay Clarkson.
Really?
And,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm unsure if Jay's in the lineup. Seafog is. It's, it'd be quite fun.
That sounds really good. I think I need to promote that a wee bit. So that's that's in Port Chalmers.
Indeed, I could flick you a link when we're off here if you like.
Please do, because that's something I'm interested in, and even just personally, I'd love to actually go to that. But it's cool. There you are. Here is Dunedin, and this is the reputation of the town that you live in, the city you live in, is that Austrian promoters and producers are coming here because they like the quality of the music coming out of this city. So it's got to be, it's an important thing for Dunedin, isn't it, going into the future?
It really is. It's like there's always been a fight in the Dunedin music scene, and it's not a fight within itself. I'm sure happens behind closed doors, but there's a fight for it. There's a lot of strong people who will fight for the survival of the music scene, and it's
that won't stop.
It won't stop. There's not much that's going to ever stop that, which is really quite cool.
Which is great.
I'm just.
We want that. It's clearly a man in love, Darryl. Background noise.
Just a little bit.
You are head over heels. This is for your fiancée.
Yeah. I just there was a period of 18 months. We live in different cities, which will change sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And but in the meantime, it's proving those of the sparse few who may have followed my music for a few years will notice it's considerably happier than it ever has been. So it's yep.
That's wonderful. And you've got this whole album of songs written for your love. And I think that's great because they're from the heart. And look, honestly, I love supporting local musicians, and it's really nice to play your music and chat to you in Dunedin. Because I know you're a big part of the music scene there, and also your work in the media as well made you perfect to talk about the live venue situation. But it's funny, I just Googled just while we were playing that song, and I just had a wee look at some of the acts that are turning up in Dunedin in the next wee while, and you've got Nadia Reid at the beautiful Glenroy Auditorium, which is lovely, on the 14th. In fact, that's 2 nights away. Yeah, Thursday night this week.
It certainly is.
Yeah,
yep.
Gosh, I don't know. This year's
that'll be huge.
That'll be big. But so you have these lovely venues. Nick Granville Trio at the Hanover Hall. A whole variety of. You do get a lot. The Port Hillbillies, 31st of July at the Folk Club. So there's some nice wee sort of venues. But it's just, I guess it's more. What you don't want to lose is that garage band, rock band kind of vibe. And if you don't have enough inner city venues that can cater for a medium-sized crowd, then that's a problem.
Most definitely, it's the grassroots that is suffering in some ways. Like if we take if the smaller venues get gentrified out, we then lose that grassroots. It could push bedroom songwriters back into the bedroom in some ways, without because there are some who don't have daytime jobs and just work fully on music, and if you're not gigging, that's pretty bleeding hard to live.
Oh, isn't it just? And plus, you want to get the oxygen of the audience. You want to find out what works for them and what doesn't. It's important, isn't it?
Yes, which songs work and which don't. It's kind of fun playing. I've been in the middle of a song going, oh man, this sucks.
So what do? You just tough it out and get through it?
Either drop a verse or
shorten it a bit.
Shorten it a bit. I actually have had times, if it's a crowd I know, because it's a friendly crowd, I will actually go, well, I can tell you all didn't like that. What was wrong with it? How can that work better?
Well, my brother, Greg Malcolm, who I think you might have played with in the past, who's a musician.
Indeed, yeah.
So do you remember how Greg used to have a suggestions box at his shows, and people would write, and he'd invite people because he was quite quirky, and to get them to write little notes and pop them in the box. And then he used some of the negative comments in his future shows, like people say, one comment, someone wrote something on his suggestion paper, and he put, stop playing, stop living, just die or something like that.
Brutal.
So, but Greg,
there's direct feedback, then there's...
then there's direct feedback. So it's a brave man who actually puts out a suggestion box. But oh no, look, I mean, I think Greg, he quite enjoys that side, and he likes being self-deprecating. It's pretty funny. But he'll be thrilled to hear that you've been on the show today too, Darryl, because I'm hoping that he's in Christchurch now, so it'd be really nice if he could actually come and play sometime in Dunedin. But it's quite hard to get him. He's got teenagers, and they keep him pretty busy at the moment.
I know the feeling. I've got one that's 15, one that's 12.
Yes, interesting ages.
Oh yeah, but I've been meaning to actually talk to Greg and say, "Bro, come play with us."
Yeah.
I'd love to come. Yeah, it'd be nice to do a gig in each city.
Oh, I think so too. So I'm hoping that may be in the springtime, But so Darryl, it's really great to talk. Now, I wanted to tell listeners that you're not just a musician. I mean, you're a broadcast journalist as well. Tell me what your usual day entails.
Day entails wake up at 6 o'clock with the alarm, hit the news, go, okay, cool. Listen to, I'm an RNZ fan from way back, so basically listen to what they're covering, and then so if it's for nationwide news, think of how they can be localised to the south, because being in the ODT newsroom, yada yada, and and then get to work. If I've got story ideas, I usually text them to my boss, anything from 7 in the morning. Yes, heard about that, talk about this.
Yeah, good.
And then my main job is more editing footage from around the country, from North Canterbury through to Invercargill.
Right.
There are video journalists and New Zealand around there that are and my boss just knocked on the door and said, in the corner, "You finished yet?" Not quite.
Yeah.
And so basically I edit video news.
Right.
And to take them to stories on the ODT website.
Yeah, very good.
We run a live bulletin here at 5:30 each night that goes out.
You present that
South today.
You present that every night, don't you?
No. I'm there's like a first string. There's a main presenter, then there's a second string, then there's oh god, there's no one else. We get Darryl to do it.
Oh, but so occasionally you pop up presenting the news of the day at 5:30.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you enjoy that?
Yep. I do. I enjoy the adrenaline of it. Like it's from someone who I nearly failed my broadcasting course because my piece of camera is too small. It was 6 seconds, and what you said, that's ridiculous. Do more, or you fail. Essentially.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so from one who never liked his own appearance to getting in front of a camera and going, oh, okay, not too hideous. Let's do this.
Yeah, good for you.
And,
yeah, well, no, it's great, and I mean the Otago Daily Times. It's a stayer, isn't it? I mean, it's great. One of the few broadsheets left. That's what I love about it. I think it's one of the best papers in the country. I really, honestly, hand on heart, feel that, and it really represents the South in a great way. I mean, there's always room for more, but I mean, considering that everyone's struggling with staff shortages and illness right now, just getting through this winter is kind of on most people's agenda, isn't it? Really, in one piece.
Indeed. My colleague who never gets sick, there's two video editors, myself and another video editor, he got to work, wasn't looking that place. I said, "Bro, you don't look good."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, he got a story done and went home sick."
Yeah.
First time I've known him to go home sick in 5 years. So.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and it's the flu and the COVID, and honestly, the horror stories from Dunedin Hospital, it's always in the news, and I mean, it's great that a new building is happening, but yeah, I'm digressing a wee bit, obviously, from music, but there's some issues that need to be dealt with, and it's good that people like yourself are actually on the case, so keep up the good work. I better let you go, so what I have done is I've lined up another song, actually, from your Bandcamp files that you sent me. And this is another sort of love song. It's called Puzzle Pieces. Tell us a little bit about this.
Oh, my gosh. It's one of the things that Briar and myself, we basically, independent of each other, referred to each other as each other's missing puzzle piece.
Nice.
It's, and then, I don't know, I spend a lot of time driving between here and Christchurch. And yeah, I'm trying to think back now when was that inspired. sometimes when I don't sleep particularly well, I never have. I think I was awake at about 4 in the morning writing this one on my head. And,
really?
Then got back to Dunedin and pulled the pen out, paper, scribble, song done.
There it was.
Recorded it, sent it to her. What do you think of this one?
And what did she say?
I think probably blushed down the phone. She's getting used to the craziness that's being engaged with a young songwriter.
Yeah, no.
And keeps writing a lot of songs.
It's fantastic. And, you got a whole album of them. That's just great. So it's Briar, is it?
Briar.
Yeah. So this is another one for Briar. And Darryl, I'll let you get back to your day job, broadcast journalist. And, hey,
nice.
I hope to see you play in Dunedin very soon, hey?
Indeed, I'd like to. Yeah, it'd be fun. And also, I keep meaning to playing Queenstown. It'd be fun.
Oh,
Good
yes, fun. It is high time you did that too. So it's just making time, isn't it? But yeah, I'm sure one way or t'other we'll get to catch up. But thanks for giving us your time today. Really cool.
Thanks for it. I really appreciate it. And thanks for playing music and stuff.
Oh no, it's
nice
great.
Chatting.
Happy to do it. Nice chatting.